Hello and welcome to race 8, the second race of the evening of the BSR GT Sprint Series here on BSR TV, live on YouTube. Thanks for joining us again. My name is Marcus Narris. I'm joined again for the fun and games I'm sure we're about to see by Jake Cameron. Hello, Jake.
Good afternoon. Evening, sorry.
Nearly. So, a great race one. Some great team tactics by the Playful Bet Over gaming guys. Saw Jose Vergara take a very strong win in the end. Carlos Foss managed to hold back the charge from Fabio Gonzalez to the tune of 2.8 seconds to give Vergara the win, which has strengthened Playful Bet Over Gaming's grip on the championship. We'll have a look at that in a second, but great tactics, great teamwork there, Jake, and that's going to be needed again in this race to get the win, because as we saw in that race one, that the draft is all powerful.
Yeah, really great teamwork there from the Playful Bet Over Gaming, sorry, team drivers. It is a bit of a mouthful, but Ruben Velasco, he took that really early, what can we say, decision to pinch Fabio Gonzalez to the inside of turn 1 and didn't really get it to play out, but towards the end of the race he caught up to his teammates, and that allowed Carlos Foss to sort of drop back and try and bring him with him towards the last lap of the race and bring him with him to try and get that top 3 for their team, but it wasn't successful, and Fabio Gonzalez put a stop to that top 3 for the Playful Bet Over Gaming team. So really interesting racing from them and some good team strategies, but other than that, I don't really think we saw any team strategies from the other teams, of the likes of the eBay Motorsports team, JCL Sim Racing. We didn't really see much of them in that one. Obviously, Alain Tessier, we'll say again, is not here this week for whatever reason, we don't know, but Nicolas Pomenard took an early exit as well. Matthew Salidi, not here either, I don't think. I've not seen him in that first race, so it's another driver we're missing again this week. So definitely they're sort of giving up that team championship to the Playful Bet Over Gaming team, Marcus.
Yeah, and with a little over 2 minutes to go at the end of this warm-up session as we move into this second race of the evening, round 8 of the BSR GT Sprint Cup. Let's have a look at how things have changed in the championship, because, as Jake said, this is always a very, very well subscribed, in fact, massively oversubscribed championship. And for those who don't know, these drivers have to go through a lengthy pre-qualification procedure before we even get close to the start of broadcast time. These guys would have been practicing in an open session for about an hour or so, and then they go into a qualifying session. And in every race so far this season, there have been quite a few people that haven't even made it as far as the race, haven't qualified for the race. So not starting a race is always a possibility. If you're off your game, then you could be out. So you really need to turn up for every race to make sure that you maximise your chances of getting a good result in the championship. That's borne out by the standings as they are now. We've had a change at the lead, obviously. Alain Tessier went into this evening in the lead of the championship, but Tessier is not with us this evening, so Ruben Velasco for Playful Bet Over Gaming takes the lead of the championship. He's now on 190 points and has opened up a little bit of a gap. There's 24 points back now to Tessier, who hangs on to that second place. He's 10 points ahead of the almost miraculously consistent Linus Brostrom. Linus still racing with a broken arm, so he's having to drive one-handed with up and down shifts on thumb buttons. And for those of you that are regular iRacers, you'll know how much of a challenge that is. So fantastic job from Linus to capitalise on his race win earlier in the season, be consistent through this period of injury, and hope he can maintain his position to lead a charge at the end of the season when he's feeling a little bit more dexterous, shall we say. John Oncala Jaraguay drops down to 4th place. He's not with us again this evening. Juan Jose Sanchez for Playful Bet Over Gaming takes 5th place in the championship, ahead of Fabio Gonzalez, who we've seen running very, very strongly. Fabio Gonzalez, a big mover. As a result of his exploits in race 1, he jumps 4 places in the championship, up to 6th place. He's ahead of Michael Stephen, who we've seen having a little bit of a nightmare so far in race 1. Also hasn't looked very quick in warm-up in race 2. I know he doesn't appear to have turned many laps, so the potential for a disappointing evening for Michael Stephen. Sylvain Pomerade is 8th, ahead of George Lee Wright, who's no longer part of this championship, and Willem Botha, who had a great result in that first race, brings up the rounds out the top 10 in 10th place. So as we move into the gridding procedure, it's all to play for, Jake.
Yeah, it really is all to play for, really. Drivers have got a lot of work to make up. But some people are not choosing to start the second race. So Ruben Velasco starts 16th, Carlos Foss starts 17th, and Fabio Gonzalez starts 18th. So they've gained a position or two from the first race where they should have been starting. So drivers will definitely thank the guy that has not shown up, because that will give them an extra boost into the points. But we'll see them Playful Bet over gaming drivers start all around that 17th position, so they've got a lot to do, but in front of them will be their teammate Jean Jose Sanchez as well. So whether they'll pick him up on the way and he'll help his teammates out will be very interesting if we can see 4 blue and white cars up in the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the cars form the grid, getting ready for the second race of the evening, a 25-minute dash is probably the best way to say it, around this 3.5 mile Daytona road course circuit. The full grid is Benjamin Gregory leads the guys away in pole position, and all my prayers have been answered. We finally see a McLaren at the front of the grid, and it's great to see one there, albeit as a result of the reverse grid procedure. Not enough McLarens in this series. I'd really like iRacing to do something to equalise the performance of these cars. Obviously the Z4 GT3 is by far the most attractive car in the championship, so it's very heavily used. But anyway, Benjamin Gregory leads them away in first place. Next to him is Romain Boutier in the very excellent liveried Z4 GT3. Third place is car number 888 of Cyril Thomas. Next to him is number 25, Kepa Zalbidi Garcia, ahead of Willem Pinar and Tian Dam. So the two Team Extreme guys starting side by side in 5th and 6th place. Noel Lundberg starts in 7th. He's got David Baker for company, and Michael Hall and Juan Jose Sanchez are in 9th and 10th. The ever-consistent Linus Brostrom, 11th place, as a result of his strong 9th place finish in race 1. He's got Nicolas Pomerade for company, and Willem Botha and Juan Prieto right behind him. And then we get into the business end of the grid, the guys that were running very strongly in that first race. So Ashley Sutton starts in 15th position. He's got Ruben Velasco for company. Carlos Foss is 17th. Fabio Gonzalez is 18th. Jose Vergara starts 19th. And Clark Preck is the 20th place car in the RUF. Interesting to see what happens here, Jake. The guys are all forming up. They're getting ready for the start. They'll run through the bus stop, and then we'll see the safety car pull in, and it will be Benjamin Gregory's job to control the pace all the way to the green lights. Yeah,
as you said, it's nice to see a McLaren, something different on that front row. We saw a RUF last week at Sebring for the second race on pole, obviously for that reverse grid. But it's really nice to see some more flavour than just a BMW Z4. It does, in my opinion, get a little boring when you see all these races that are meant to be GT3 Cups and GT3 Endurance Racing, and more it's just a BMW Cup, because that car is really overpowerful. But looking through the field, there is some great drivers out there who can really make a stir and an upset in this, especially Jean Jose Sanchez. He can really cause an upset from 10th place. We saw him have a really good run last week at Sebring. And also Linus Bostrom, consistent as always. But drivers now filing up 2 by 2 as they come out of the bus stop into turn number 12. That is turn 3 and 4 of the oval for spectators and viewers who do not know the turn numbers, as the pace car will begin to quicken and the grid will be handed down to Benjamin Gregory, who will be decided when to go, either on the green flag or on his command.
Yep, absolutely, and it looks like everyone's pretty much, again, been pretty sensible with the spacing. Everyone looks about ready to go, maybe with the exception of Kepa Zalbidi Garcia, who was hanging back a little bit there in 4th position, but he's in the right place now. The safety car comes in and away he goes. There's no hanging around. Benjamin Gregory gets on the gas really, really early, and as a result of that, catches Roman Boutillier out horribly. Boutillier didn't have any idea what was going on then, and he was going, and as they go down into turn 1 for the first time, you've got to say an absolutely fantastic job done there by Ben Gregory out front in that McLaren MP412C GT3. He got the jump on everyone, got the drop on absolutely everyone, and he got away, leaving pretty much everyone in his wake. And as the main body of the pack files through the turn 1 section, it looks again, I was about to say it looks like everyone's got away without any problems, but it looks like we've had a bit of a problem. Matteo Chevalier and the unfortunate Ellis Stevens caught up in an incident at the International Horseshoe, but as I say that, Jake, a great start up front from Ben Gregory, as I said, getting a jump on absolutely everybody and really driving away through that infield section.
Yeah, Gregory really made that start very anticipated for some people. They didn't know whether he was going to go on green or go when he wanted to. That is what you call a great start, and very unanticipated by the rest of the field. Brilliant start again from Ashley Sutton. He's already up onto the back of Michael Hall in 10th position, so really good jump from Ashley Sutton again, really good racing. He's left the trailing cars of Ruben Valesco, Carlos Foss, Fabio Gonzalez and Jose Vergara behind, so that's going to give him a very big charge into this championship and into this race. We know he had really good pace in the last one, but got a bit unfortunate. Whether he's tweaked the setup, added a bit of traction control onto this one, we'll have to find out, but he looks very quick off the start again, so nothing changed there as he pulls it out to the outside of Michael Hall, goes down to the inside, makes that pass look very easy. Sorry, not Michael Hall actually. That is actually Noel Lundberg. I'm getting that wrong. Sorry about that, viewers. But he's already really far up into... He's already up into 8th, Marcus. So really good start. Yeah,
and as you say that, we've got a great battle for the lead up front. Cyril Thomas doing his level best to get around Benjamin Gregory, and in fact he led Gregory by 5,000th of a second across the start-finish line as Thomas, Gregory and Kepa Zalbidi Garcia crossed the finish line all within a 10th of a second of one another. They were certainly doing their best to give a demonstration of pack racing, but Gregory did a fantastic job of hanging on to the outside line through turn 1, and again he leads Cyril Thomas as we make our way through the infield section on this second lap. The order, as we say, is Ben Gregory ahead of Cyril Thomas with Kepa Zalbidi Garcia in 3rd place. Tian Dams is 4th place. Of the quick guys, the best start is Ashley Sutton. Ashley made a gain of 7 places, you said there, Jake, on that first lap, and he finds himself from a starting position of 15th. He's currently running 8th, so he'll be delighted with the way things have gone on lap 1.
He's actually running higher than that. He's actually running P5 now. He's just overtaken Romain Butila, sorry. He's actually now up into P5 as they come down into the bus stop. So really great start from Ashley Sutton. He has left, as I said earlier, the likes of Ruben Valesco, Carlos Foss and Jose Vergara behind as they're only now entering the bus stop. He's now into the halfway through turn number 12. So really good start from him, but really good out front now as we see Michael Hall try and go around the outside. That's 3 wide there. Really great racing. Ashley Sutton, though, gets up the inside of both of them. He then takes it 3 wide with Tiam Dames and Kepa Garcia. Really great racing through the middle. He's going to make that work. He makes that stick. He comes down to the inside now. He is now up into P3 into turn 1. Another great move, another great bit of racing. We were 3 wide there, 2 sections of the racetrack. He's now right onto the back of Benjamin Gregory, our pole sitter. So really interesting racing. Again, really tight though, and really clean, Marcus.
Yeah, and we've seen a change for the lead as well. Cyril Thomas has finally got around Ben Gregory, who's now is manfully trying to defend from Ashley Sutton, and Ashley Sutton does the right thing and gives Gregory a bit of space there. So a 7-place leap on lap 1, another 4 places on lap 2 means Sutton's gone from 15th all the way up to 3rd in the space of 2 laps, and he'll be looking. Oh, and as we say that, he's caught by Tian Dams. Oh, that's certainly one that the stewards are going to be looking at after the race. As we have another look at that at the replay. Poor Ashley Sutton, he'd done an absolutely fantastic job.
That was Ashley's fault
at the start of the race there, and he's trying to go. It looks to me like the around the outside there, and sometimes you just need to back out of it. I can't agree that was Ashley's fault, to be honest with you. He's the car in front going around the outside, and he needs to be given a little bit of space there, to be honest with you. the last thing you need is a car in your rear three-quarter panel there, but regardless, he's down in 17th or 18th place now, so it's all gone horribly wrong for Ashley Sutton, and he's going to do absolutely everything he can to get himself back up front.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Ashley. In my opinion, that was his fault. He missed his braking spot and sort of run wide and then just got collected. So it is really his fault. He should have kept that tighter line and gave Benjamin Gregory a little more room than what he did. He did really sit on the back of him and not really give him that room that he needed. But Tian Dames had nothing to do there. He just ran his normal line and Ashley Sutton closed down into him. So that was a racing incident in my opinion, sorry, but really interesting there to see that Ashley Sutton now going to drop back. Will he be able to make them places up again? Because he tucks in now behind Jose Vergara, but he's 4 seconds behind him and the likes of John Jose Sanchez and Ruben Velasco. So really interesting to see if he can catch up. Linus Bostrom dropped down the field as well. He had a really good start. He got up into about P7, but now he's dropped back again into where he started, into P11. Carlos Foss moved up into P8. That is a brilliant increase of 9 positions as well on the first 4 laps. Really interesting to see if he can get going. But as I've just been informed, really good battle for P4 as well. That actually involves our second and first place leader. So this is actually a battle for the lead, actually. Cyril Thomas, not Cyril Thomas. This is second place, actually. Cyril Thomas has a break. But Benjamin Gregory, Tian Dames, Kepa Garcia and Michael Hall all fighting for that second place.
Yeah, they were 3 or 4 wide through the infield in sections there, and Benjamin Gregory will certainly be looking to exploit the outside of Tian Dames. Obviously, so that Dames looks to the outside to defend, and it gives Kepa Zalbidi Garcia the opportunity to slide it up the inside going into the bus stop, and he's forced Dames onto that wider outside line. And can he get it back? Yeah, Dames holds on to that. He had to straighter line through the bus stop there, and he's able to get back alongside Kepa Zalbidi Garcia, and he's certainly got the run. But Garcia now is going to start to pick up that side draft, being sat just off the left rear wheel of Tian Dames, and as we see there, a slight twitch from Dames as Zalbidi Garcia tries to position his car, taking advantage as much as he can as the draft, and Michael Hall drives through the middle of the pair of them, picking up the strong draft from both cars in front of him, and Michael Hall's going to sweep around the outside and take that second place. So as we run into the beginning of lap 5, move into the infield for lap 5, it's Cyril Thomas out front, and he has got behind him Michael Hall, who made a great move there between Tian Dames and Kepa Zalbidi Garcia to take that second place. And as we say that, Carlos Foss, also very, very strong, made his way up to 5th place. Benjamin Gregory, our pole sitter, drops down to 6th with William Pinar right behind him. So again, very, very tight as the reverse grid compacts and compresses the racing here, Jake. It looks like it could be anyone for that second place. The cars from second place to 10th place separated by less than 7/10 of a second.
Yeah, just so you say that, we actually see a spinner, and that is Kepa Zabida Garcia getting it very wrong there on the exit of turn 7 as they come from the infield section into the oval. We'll get a replay of that on your screens right now for you to see. He just gets that very wrong as we actually see a lot of smoke as well there on the oval. Who was that? That was David Baker running in 9th position as well. Something must have gone wrong up there as well. We'll have to get back and have a look through that as we had that replay on your screens though of Kepa Garcia. We'll have to have a look what happened to David Baker. Really tight racing, so stuff like that can happen and drivers don't give and take, and that is what happens as we watch Ruben Velasco really drop off. He's got damage on that right front actually, Marcus, so there could be something that happened to the front end of that car with David Baker.
Yeah, it was all change on that lap, it has to be said. The just before Zalbidi Garcia dropped it coming out of turn 7, Tian Dames in front of him had a big wobble under traction, under acceleration coming out of that turn. He lost traction and slowed it right down, and Dames now has dropped way back down behind Benjamin Gregory. As we say that, he makes a move under Gregory again to retake that place, but he finds himself down in 5th or 6th place at the moment, and all of that fun and games behind has given Cyril Thomas a great opportunity to drive away with it. As we begin the 6th lap, with a little over 15 minutes of this race remaining, Cyril Thomas leads by 3 seconds now from Michael Hall. So those few issues and actions in that mid pack in turn 7 has really spread things out, Jake.
Yeah, talking about mid-pack, we just have another incident in the mid-pack as well. Ashley Sutton got his way self back up into P11, but he just had a coming together with William Botha in the middle section on the exit of turn 4. He ran really wide, but then William Botha tried to go around the outside of him, but they collided together, and Ashley Sutton getting in that again. We'll try and get a replay of that on your screens for you. But really good racing again, as you say, Marcus. This top 4, top 5 drivers really going hard, hammer and tong at it. Not making many mistakes as what I've seen so far, but Michael Hall and Carlos Foss really being able to make that breakaway now, as Cyril Thomas did. Cyril Thomas having a 3-second lead, which is really quite impressive for a Daytona track. You'd not really expect to have that unless you had a major accident from the second position down. So really interesting to see that them fighting drivers in the second and third position did make a significant difference. But saying that, Carlos Foss and Michael Hall working together now, down to 2.9 seconds the gap, so that draft really worked. If them drivers can work together, they will easily catch Cyril Thomas, and that will maybe put an end to his run out front.
Yeah, and we've seen it week after week, Jake, in the championship so far, is that you know, if you're squabbling, if you're battling, you're going to be slower. You're going to be inherently slower, and it's all very well fighting over second, third and fourth place, but if by doing that you're giving the guy up front the opportunity just to drive away with it, the best thing to do is, as you said, is to work together, especially on a drafting track like this one. And certainly I'll be keen to see Carlos Foss and Michael Hall working as a pair to try and take advantage of the draft that they're going to give one another, to try and cruise up to the back of Cyril Thomas, because that last lap they only took just over 0.2 of a second out of Thomas, and at this rate, with 13 minutes of the race remaining, they're not going to do enough to catch him at the current rate. So they're certainly going to have to work as a team to try and take advantage of the big hole in the air that the two cars are going to create, and see if they can catch Cyril Thomas up front.
Yeah, really going to have to work together, and that's going to be the battle of teammates and enemies, really. So you're not always wanting to work with people that you maybe not get along with, especially as Carlos Foss not having any of his teammates up there. His closest teammate is Jean-Jose Sanchez, who's back in P7, but Ruben Velasco really dropped back as well since he got that front end damage with that contact with David Baker on turn number 7. So really interesting to see if this could shake the championship up as well, with Foss being really tight up the front. But Linus Bostrom sitting in P6, incredible drive with that broken arm. He's just been passed though round the outside, shall we say. Maybe not. No, he's managed to actually hold that position off there. But John Jose Sanchez trying to make a move on William Pinar, but Pinar getting it very, very loose and sideways on the exit of turn number 1. So that allowed Sanchez through quite easily, but he'll be trying to run down onto Linus Bostrom as Linus Bostrom tries to make a move up the inside of TM Dames. TM Dames comes down onto the inside there and cuts the nose off of Linus Bostrom, so he just yielded there and allowed that move to take place, trying to use his head and be smarter driver.
Yeah, and back up front, Carlos Foss is making great progress. Now he's relatively unmolested by Michael Hall behind him. He's able to show his true pace. On that last lap, on lap 7, both Cyril Thomas up front and Carlos Foss behind him set their respective fastest laps of the race. But critically, Carlos Foss's lap of 1:43.2 compared to Cyril Thomas's 1:44.4 was almost a second quicker. And what it's done is it's brought Carlos Foss back into drafting range of Cyril Thomas, and the pair of these now getting very close together as they run out of the bus stop there and go around the long sweeping bank turn onto the start-finish line, the tri-oval part. And you can see already that Carlos Foss has positioned his car directly behind that of Cyril Thomas in front of him, and it looks to me like he's got enough of a speed differential, almost 9 miles an hour speed difference between them there, as he went past. Foss running at 171 miles an hour, Thomas running at 164, so a real demonstration there of how powerful that draft is. There was 0.7 of a second in that short section of the back of the oval as they went round the bend onto the tri-oval and the start-finish straight. So it just really demonstrates how powerful that draft is. The question now becomes, can Cyril Thomas resist the attentions of Michael Hall, Jake?
Yeah, really, really powerful draft around Daytona. We'll mention it again. We mentioned it in race 1. It's really something you don't want to be playing with on the last few laps, and not really through any of the race. You want to always be with that car car right in your mirrors and right in front of you really as well. But Cyril Thomas coming under extreme pressure in the last couple of laps. He's had it very easy since the start of the race when he made that breakaway, but he's come under a lot of pressure now. Carlos Foss managed to make that move obviously down into turn 1. So Cyril Thomas wasn't able to hold out that pressure, but Michael Hall, also a quicker driver as well than Cyril Thomas. Michael Hall's quickest lap is a 143.5, whereas Cyril Thomas, as you said, was a 144.4. So it's really going to make a difference as they're now on the back straight as they come into bus stop. That is turn 8, 9, 10 and 11. So Cyril Thomas really under pressure there. Michael Hall not managed to make it, but he's got the better exit speed. So turn 12 could be very interesting as we come onto the home straight and also down into turn 1. Will he be able to make that move, Michael Hall? He's going to hold it out there. He's going to hold back. He's dragging the throttle a little bit, but now he's right in that drafting range. This is where drivers make the moves. This is where they pop to the outside, as Michael Hall does. He drives it back down to the inside. He gets up the inside as he goes below the apron across the start-finish line. That is a textbook pass in the draft, isn't it, Marcus? That is how you do it. And with that, they also gain on the leaders down to 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, obviously that drafting in pairs gives you a huge advantage. You see Michael Hall just wag his tail a little bit there coming out of turn 1 as he gets the power down. And there's a huge crash behind. We had the group 5 seconds behind. We've got Tian Damas has made contact with Juan Jose Sanchez going into turn 1. Willem Pinar also involved there, so we'll have another look at that for you. But certainly 2 of the Team Extreme guys not having a great time in that corner there, and it looks to me as they've come into turn 1. Tian Dams has got Juan Jose Sanchez just behind him, and Juan Jose Sanchez has just caught the back of Tian Dams and he's punted him into the end of the pit wall, the big tyre stack there at the end of the pit wall, and what that has unfortunately done is fired poor old Tian Dames, who was a total passenger in all of that. Not a lot he could have done. It's fired him back across the circuit and back into the path of the onrushing Juan Jose Sanchez, and it's flipped Sanchez up into the air and seriously damaged that Playful Bet overgaming machine. And I'll be very surprised if Sanchez is able to do anything with that machine. Also caught up in that was, as I say, Willem Pinar. So both Team Extreme guys running very, very well up front. Unfortunately caught up in an incident there, Jake. No real malice to me. It's just a slight nudge on the back end, but you'd certainly like to see Juan Jose Sanchez being a little bit more patient and a little bit more careful in that situation.
Yeah, that was like what we saw the other week at Watkins Glen with George Wright and Stefan Michael. He's just not really got under braking early enough and misjudged that time, but guys managed to make that through that though. Linus Bostrom and Josie Vergara with minimum damage. They were really in that battle as well, so very interesting to see that. But this has made a big play into Ashley Sutton and Ruben Velasco's hand. Ashley Sutton now moves up into P7 and Ruben Velasco moves up into P6. So he's going to be chasing on the back heels now of Linus Bostrom, who's carrying slight front end damage from that turn 1 wreck. Also Josie Vergara has rear wing damage. So them 2 drivers could be caught by the trailing pack of Ruben Velasco and Ashley Sutton. This race could all play out with only about 5 minutes left on the play clock.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all change up there, so let's just give you a quick rundown because, as you say, some people benefited from that, but there were some big losers there. So Carlos Foss remains in the lead. He's a second now, clear of Michael Hall, who sits in second place. The third place is Cyril Thomas now, 1.8 seconds off of the leader. Then there's a huge gap of 10 seconds. I was going to say, it's even bigger. There was a gap of 10 seconds back to Jose Vergara, but Vergara has been removed from the circuit is probably the polite way of saying it. I'm not 100% sure what happened to him there. I'm going to have another look at it. I think we're going to look at it again together. But it seems to me, I guess he lost a bit of traction. As you mentioned, he had rear wing damage there, Jake. And as he's come out onto the oval again there, he's put the gas down far too quickly, and it's just flicked the car around the wrong way. And Linus Bostrom very, very fortunate to again avoid a serious incident. So poor old Linus has seen 2 cars go bouncing across his bonnet in the space of a lap, and he'll be wondering what he's got to do to keep out of people's way. But what that does do, again, it promotes Ashley Sutton, who is doing his best to promote himself, as Sutton makes a move up the inside of Bostrom there going into turn 1. Sutton gets it done, moves up into 4th place, drags Ruben Velasco with him. So Sutton, without a boot lid, as a result of his adventures earlier in the race, is now leading the charge to try and catch Cyril Thomas, but he's got the better part of 12 seconds to try and make up in the last 5 minutes of this race, Jake.
Yeah, really great move there by Ashley Sutton, but Ruben Velasco as well, just sticking in the draft range there, making it look easy to go past the broken driver of Linus Bostrom, who's got that front end damage, so that's really going to play a big advantage into his race, really, a big disadvantage, sorry. But this is also worked out for Nicholas Pomerad, not someone we've really spoke about this week, really, Marcus. He's not really gave us that flavour and that spice that he normally gives us to this championship. He's normally a driver, always inside the top 10, but race 1, he really didn't have a good finish. He started 12th in this one, but he's now up into that P7 spot, and he is closing on the back of Linus Bostrom, so that could be P6, maybe even further if he can get that draft and make it work for him. And, you know, things happen when that draft just goes for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nicholas, usually the slower of the two Pomerad, Sylvain usually the quicker of the two, and that's respected by their championship position. Sylvain Pomerad started this race in 8th place, Nicholas Pomerad down in 15th, but he'll be delighted with his run that puts him in 7th place, as we see just ahead of him, Ruben Velasco. I think has got a slowdown penalty for cutting the exit of the bus stop. I'm going to go back myself and have a look at that. Yep, indeed so. He's taken a massive bunch of the grass on the inside of the fourth turn of the bus stop, the left-hander back onto the oval, and he's had to get high, get well out of the gas, and that's given Linus Bostrom and Nicholas Pomerad the chance to go past him.
Yeah, really silly thing there to be doing when you're running in that P5 position, so we'll have to ask him and find out next week why he did that. That's just a silly thing to do, really, Marcus. You don't need to be making that sort of mistake when you've got 2 minutes left of the race and you're running in P5 and you're leading the championship. That's just gave Linus Bostrom a massive boost if he can hold into that P5 position, because that is an extra 2 positions he's going to have over Ruben Velasco. But as I say that, Linus Bostrom coming under extreme pressure from Nicholas Pomerad, really trying to get out up the inside there on the exit of turn 7, but he's now going to have the draft as they come round turn number 7, down the back straight into the bus stop, into turn 8. Will he make that move up the inside? No, but Linus Bostrom has that draft as well from Ashley Sutton. Turn 9 now, through turn 10, that really flowing through on the exit of the bus stop, turn 11, and then into turn 12. This is where the move will be made, coming out of turn 12, onto the home straight. Nicholas Pomerad, if he has that draft, he will pop to the right. We've seen it many a times before in this race and in race 1. Drivers just pop to the outside or pop to the inside and say goodbye, really, where they have the draft, Marcus.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say if anyone's going to take advantage of the draft here, it's going to be Linus Bostrom. And as we say that, he tries to take the outside line around the outside of Ashley Sutton, but Sutton is fantastic on the brakes, and Bostrom runs too wide. He can't be as effective on the brakes as Ashley Sutton, and it cost him 3 places. So he attempted to take Ashley Sutton for 4th place, and now finds himself behind both Nicholas Pomerad and the recovering Ruben Velasco. So Linus now running in what will be 7th place, as a result of not getting that move done. So things settle down as we move into the final minute and a half of this very exciting round 8 of the championship. I barely had time to draw breath. It's amazing that we've only got a minute left already. Carlos Foss is very, very comfortable out front now. He's 2.5 seconds away from Michael Hall. Michael Hall is about to have Cyril Thomas all over the back of him as Thomas takes advantage of the draft. So Foss leads from Hall. Thomas is 3rd. Ashley Sutton, as we've discussed, is running in 4th place, and Sutton would be kicking himself if it wasn't for the problems he had with Tian Darms and the spin he had with Willem Botha. He'd be off and clear by now. As it is, he's defending very, very hard from Nicholas Pomerad, Ruben Velasco, and Linus Bostrom is chasing these guys, trying to recover from the slightly outbraking himself last lap into turn 1. So a lot of work to do there for Linus Bostrom. So we're on the final lap now, and Carlos Foss relatively serenely makes his way around turn 1. Cyril Thomas has looks to me like another victim of a slowdown, because he's dropped back 3 seconds in the space of 1 lap, and it happened around the bus stop, so I'll assume he's got a slowdown penalty there, as the clock winds down to 3, 2, 1, so the time is up. This will certainly be the final lap, and Carlos Foss looks set for victory, Jake.
Yeah, Carlos Foss definitely looking set for the victory, but that top 3 looking solid. If anyone makes a mistake, that's the only way someone's going to gain a position, but the battle here is for 4th. Ruben Velasco actually was in 4th coming across the line, but Ashley Sutton got that position back into turn 1, round the outside with his signature move round the outside. Ruben Velasco really close there on the back of Ashley Sutton. Ashley Sutton, though, not making contact together there. Really going to drive now as they come into turn number 6 onto that oval. This is where it's going to pay. This is where the drivers are going to have to get into the back of each other. Nicholas Pomerad, will he decide to make a move on Ruben Velasco, or is he going to wait until after the bus stop and through turn number 12? But Ashley Sutton seems to have had that gap now. If he can just hold on, hopefully get Ruben Velasco out of the draft, it will be perfectly fine for him. But saying that, Ruben Velasco now gaining in, he looks to the outside. They come into the bus stop, the turn number 8. Through turn 9, there's contact. Ruben Velasco into the back of Ashley Sutton. Both drivers managing to hold it, but now we seem to have lost Ruben Velasco. I cannot see Ruben Velasco.
Yeah, I think he's having a connection issue. So up front, Carlos Foss crosses the finish line to take the win in the number 96 machine. Second place will be Michael Hall. Michael Hall will be delighted with that result. Third place is Cyril Thomas, just crossing the line. Ashley Sutton takes 4th relatively comfortably from Nicholas Pomerad, Linus Brostrom and Fabio Gonzalez, who side by side coming to the finish line. We'll let the timing screen sort that one out. Those guys separated by less than 1/100th of a second, so Sutton takes 4th. Gonzalez actually managed to draft the pair of them and took 5th place. Linus Brostrom 1/1000th of a second slower than Fabio Gonzalez. Gonzalez's total race time, total gap from the leader, 20 seconds, 0.225. Brostrom's gap from the leader, 20 seconds, 0.226, and just another 6,000th of a second back is Nicholas Pomerad. So those 3 guys covered by 7/1000th of a second. So fantastic racing at the end there, but Carlos Foss will be absolutely delighted, as we unfortunately lost Ruben Velasco. It looks like he disconnected. Not quite sure what happened there, but we lost him just on the run up to the finish line there, Jake.
Yeah, really strange incident there. He hit the back of Ashley Sutton going into turn number 9 in the bus stop, and then he sort of disappeared. I didn't know where he went. I thought maybe he'd crashed, but no, something obviously there, computer troubles or maybe internet troubles. We'll have to find out, but that's going to play a big part in the championship, because Linus Bostrom finishing 6th. We'll have to get him in for an interview along with Ashley Sutton and maybe a few other drivers in a couple of minutes' time. But really good race. Man of that race for me was definitely Carlos Foss. Really good race. Started in 17th position, so making up 16 spots to take that win, Marcus. Really good one.
Yeah, and a little bit of karma there for Carlos Foss. He did a great job for that Playful Bet Over Gaming team in race 1. Really working well for the team, doing a great job, and he'll feel he certainly got his just desserts in race 2. A very great race win, so great job for Carlos Foss. So we're joined by the 4th place driver, Ashley Sutton. Evening, Ashley, how are you?
How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, not bad. A great drive from you all the way up from 15th place. Not as good as it could have been, though. A couple of incidents there, Ashley.
Yeah, just unlucky, to be honest. We had a great start again, and then kept getting caught up. I had 3 accidents, kept dropping back to 15th every single time, and then eventually, when I got settled in, worked my way up and got to 4th. So.
Yeah, and absolutely a little bit fortunate maybe at the end there. We thought you were going to come under massive pressure from Ruben Velasco, who was really giving you a hard time on that last lap. But it looks to me like you had a connection issue and just disappeared out your rear view mirrors there, mate.
I wouldn't say connection issue. I'd say he was too high on the incidents, and because I was backing it up in the last sector, he tapped the back of me and he got disqualified for it. So.
Okay, we didn't see that touch. That explains that. Thanks for clearing that up. That's great stuff. But is this the start of your championship charge, mate? You've been very quick all season, but you've not really had the results for one reason or another.
Yeah, just been unlucky. It's just manic, shall we say, on the first few laps. So if I can clear the first few laps every single race, then yeah, I can't see why not. It'd be good.
Excellent. Well, certainly we hope to see you in future weeks, and keep running strong, and we hope you have a little bit better luck, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed. We'll see.
Brilliant. Thanks for joining us, Ash.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers. Take care. So great result for Ashley Sutton there, and as he says, luck went his way a little bit tonight. He was unlucky with a few incidents there, Jake, but he'll be delighted with 4th place, obviously.
Yeah, really. I said it at the start of the race. Ashley Sutton's he's had the qualifying position, not really had the luck though. But another guy that has had the luck though is Linus Bostrom. Really had some good luck this season so far, Linus, haven't you? With that broken arm, you got through that incident as well in this race, close to the end with Sanchez and other drivers. You really made it work for you today.
Yeah, I've had a really good day. I had a quick qualifying time and started high and had a good first race. And then in the second race there, I was running pretty close on the incidents to the end. So in the last chicane when I checked up there, I was afraid to get hit from behind and get disqualified, but he managed to keep off my rear bumper, so I'm happy with the results.
Yeah, something we didn't mention before this race, the 15 incident cap did actually get brought in, so that's why Ruben Velasco did get removed from the session for exceeding that incidents. But Linus, you had a really, well, should I say, strange start to this race. You sort of went forward and then you went back a bit more, and then the incidents started to happen and you went forward again, and then incidents happened and you got caught up in them and went back again. It was sort of a bit of cat and mouse. You were going forward and backwards.
Yeah, I was just trying to stay out of trouble really, and try not get into any trouble, do my own race, and then when the fast guys caught up with me, I just let most of them go to not get into more trouble than necessary.
Yeah,
and at the end there, I don't really know what happened, but someone just disappeared. So.
Well, a great effort, mate. And as we said at the start, consistency is key. And as a reward for that consistency, you're now sitting second in the championship, 21 points behind Ruben Velasco, who we saw unfortunately get disqualified. So he lost the opportunity to build a significant lead there. So hopefully, as your arm's starting to feel a little bit better there, you're still in the chase. You've given yourself a great chance in this championship. And are you feeling stronger week by week? Is it getting easier to drive with the arm, or is it still a big problem?
No, I'm still just driving with one hand, so I'm getting used to that now. I don't know how long it will take me to get back to driving with both hands when I get the cast taken off, because obviously it'll be pretty weak for the first week or week or so, but we'll see.
Well, I'm sure you could build the strength up in that arm quickly if you needed to, Linus. Thanks for joining us, mate, and a great evening this evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, so another fantastic evening of racing here, and thanks very much to Ashley Sutton and Linus Bostrom for joining us there. So as we drive away from Daytona in the dark, don't forget to join us on Thursday night if you like close racing for touring car racing. It's the BSR Touring Car Championship from Indianapolis, from the road course there, the bike course as it happens, which closely mimics the reconfigured, newly re-tarmacked Indianapolis, which as we know will be used this weekend on the oval for the Indy 500. So if you want a bit of a build-up, a bit of a warm-up to the Indy 500 this weekend, come and join us for the BSR Touring Car Championship right here on the BSR TV channel on YouTube on Thursday night. We'll sign off there. I say thanks very much to Jake Cameron for joining this evening. Thanks very much, Jake.
Yeah, thanks very much, and cheers for watching and tuning in, and we hope to see you again next week, only here on BSR TV.
Yeah, and huge thanks to Series Director Steve Richardson, who was frantic this evening updating things, seeing as he was racing, and huge thanks to Laura Bond, our director, who again provides the pictures and keeps me and Jake in line when we start to misbehave. So thanks very much again for joining us. I've been Marcus Naris. We'll see you next Tuesday night for more BSR GT Sprint Cup action, but for tonight, from myself, from Jake, from Laura and from Steve, thanks for joining us. Good night.